Hey, are you free? Welcome back. I'm glad you're here. This episode picks up right where we left off in episode 1 with a question that pulls us inward. What's the difference between intuition and trust? Christina and I dive into something so many of us wrestle with: how motherhood, burnout, business, and simply being human can cause us to lose touch with our intuition and question our ability to trust ourselves. We talk about what it takes to rebuild both, gently, honestly, and over time. Together, we unpack the difference between that quiet inner knowing and the kind of belief that's earned through lived experience. We share stories of motherhood, meltdown, ours and our kids, relationship repair, and those messy middle moments where it feels easier to quit and braver to keep going. There's laughter, reflection, and even a few misty eyed moments. And if this conversation sparks something in you, we'd love for you to stick around. Check out the description for ways to stay connected and explore what we're each creating in the world, from coaching that fuels your next chapter to small batch jams that bring a little sweetness to your day. So whether you're walking, driving, hiding in the pantry with your coffee, or chasing a toddler, wherever you are, welcome to the conversation. Hey, friend. Thanks for coming back.
You're welcome.
We left off last time. You asked me this question about what is the difference between my intuition and trust.
Mhm.
Can you just ask me that again, or what you meant by that?
Well, earlier you were saying that you want to really get back into your intuition, especially in motherhood. And then you said in terms of how we got here today, in terms of actually the podcast going live, etc., that you kept trusting yourself. You're just trusting. So I just wanted to know, really, is the trust coming from your intuition, or is your intuition guiding your trust, or is the trust feeding your intuition, or just kind of, is there a relationship there at all, or maybe not?
All right. So, I went to my bestie, ChatGPT, and I literally wrote intuition versus trust. And it was like intuition and trust are closely connected, but distinct concepts. One comes from within and the other from between. Intuition is our internal guidance system, a gut feeling or instinct that arises without logical reasoning, often subconscious, shaped by the past experiences, emotions, and some subtle cues. It feels fast, immediate, and personal. Trust is a relational foundation built over time through consistency, reliability, and emotional safety. It can be placed in people, systems, or processes. It requires vulnerability and willingness to believe in someone or something. So the key difference is your intuition is knowing without proof, and trust is believing based on experience. So actually, my intuition is stronger than my trust.
Oh my God, I want to cry right now.
Girl, I mentioned it, but I mentioned it before about one of the hardest parts about becoming a mom for the first time was that I lost my intuition, that gut, so I was young 30s, and up until that, I was just sassy and this is going to work and that is going to work and this is what you're going to do and this is how I'm going to do it and I'm going to figure it out and blah blah blah. And then I got struck with being a mom, and my daughter was having trouble breastfeeding, and I was listening to society, and I just remember holding her and being like, if you don't want to breastfeed, just tell me what to do, and just crying on the floor, and feeling like I didn't know. I could read all the books, I could do all the research, I could talk to many people, I still didn't know, have a deep knowing of what the right move was. And at that point, I had a trust that I knew how to get back my intuition.
Mhm.
I had a trust that I knew the process of just practice it in small moments, start making decisions again, start not giving a fuck about what other people are thinking or saying, and do it in the small moments that don't feel so scary but still need to get done. So that intuition of this is going to be good, this is going to feel good, this is where you need to go, Brie, this is what's been calling you. Because it's like knowing without proof. Because I've never done this before. Like this is freaking new. But I said in my teaser, I'm a professional quitter. So the process, like I I love to quit. I love to have ideas. I think that's why I'm like working for somebody is great because it's like, nope, it's your plan. Okay, we'll figure out how to execute it. Like we will go. But like myself, like I think trust and believing based on experience when I've had to bet on myself a lot in my life. And so I should have better trust in myself. But I also feel like when I think about who I am at my core, like I married a man who knows how to like take care of me. And so I get lazy in that process. So like I don't trust that I'm going to do the work. I take easy way out. Like going back to like a job that's no longer serving me, I'm just going to quit, right? That's like that was easier for me than staying. Um I again, I had the podcast, I have a coaching business. I'm like not bringing in much money and I've been doing it for 3 years, right? And so when people say like this is how you build a six-figure big business, my trust is like I haven't done it. So I don't know if that really I don't know what comes up for you. I don't even know.
I feel like, oh yeah, a lot, so it's just a matter of what to kind of hit on or, follow up on or not. So part of that is, I think, contextual, right? So when you were saying you should have more trust in yourself than you do, I'm like, well, but you've never been in this situation before. So you've been in other situations. Like to me, it's not comparing apples to apples, right? So that's just another way to put a demand or an expectation or a should on yourself. Like, all right, well, you should be because you've done it in the past. Well, like you said, you've never done a podcast before and you're figuring it out. And here we are recording, right? So
I think there's a part of judgment. Like intuition is so inside of me, like but the minute it goes out of my mouth, now I have to trust the process and with that comes judgment.
yeah.
And so I think judgment has always quieted my intuition too.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's easier to quit than
For sure.
to see it out. So therefore, it's safer that way, right? You don't have to fail or whatever this new word we're going to call it, right? You don't have to risk and be this, that, and the other. I do think it's a very back to the motherhood thing. I think that's so common that we as mothers lose that. There's so now it's just such a plethora of information out there where in some ways it's like, well, our mothers, grandmothers, great grandmothers, they didn't have all that and they figured it out. They were all here. They figured it out. My dad's aunt, 95 years old, and I mean, swears by clove of garlic and a shot of apple cider vinegar every day. And here she is, healthy as can be. Just it's like it somehow though we lost that and replace. I would even offer that it's not just in motherhood. Somehow we have decided to listen to external voices instead of our own on all sorts of areas.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
and
And the question for me is like, how do you turn off the noise? And I think we can.
yeah, yeah. I told you that I felt so different in the latest meeting with my daughter's school and regarding her 504 plan that I felt confident that I do know my daughter. I do know what's best for her, but that's come, years of work, years of doubting to say, no, actually, I do. I think I've put in the work, I've read, I've tried different strategies, gotten the feedback. It's, the whole feedback loop, right?
You've gotten feedback from your daughter and you've had to be open to receive that. Like we were at a doctor's appointment today and they were asking me questions and we were talking about how do I know how Aubrey's feeling, right? Because she's nonverbal. So how do I know? And I'm like, I've spent a lot of time like if Aubrey and I are in the same room together, my eye is mostly on her. Like
it doesn't even exhaust me anymore. I mean, I get overstimulated and all that stuff, but like it's part of what I've built over the last 9 years is that like this connection with your human where like I'm constantly watching her and her behavior, and I notice when she goes to grab her stomach and I'm like for 5 hours going, go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. Aubrey, you're leaning over, go to the bathroom. Like, and like knowing that there's a meltdown coming before there's a meltdown coming too. And it's like, I mean, I know when her brother is being a toddler and he's acting crazy, and I'll say to her, you probably might want to go to your room because he's going to have a hard time and you're about to have a hard time. Does she listen? No. But like as a mom, I have to know all of that stuff. So you're right. Like it's that you know what conversation just popped in my mind? The conversation where you and I had about you actually just doing this. Like go and just experience your daughter and learn from her.
I don't remember that conversation, but you got to remind me.
Yeah, no, I just feel like I remember you were like, I don't know what to do for her. Like I don't remember the exact words, but like
We've
just
got so many
feeling like you and I were in a space where you were like, I don't know what to do. And I think it was just like, just go listen, just go be with her. She'll tell you, like open yourself up to listening. And it's the same thing. Listen to yourself, listen to your husband, listen to your parent, like just be in a space where you're present and you're observing. And I love that you said like experimenting and getting feedback, because they are always giving us feedback.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to listen to Aubrey.
What
I didn't know.
Changed.
What changed? Girl, I couldn't take it anymore. Like I couldn't. Honestly, you know what changed? COVID. I was forced to be home.
Yeah.
I was forced to be home. She was home. I had to take care of her. I had to get to know her. I didn't know her before COVID. My mother-in-law always was with her, and my husband would take her over there, and I would be at work before she got up, and then I would be home a couple hours before they got home. And like that's why we co-slept for 4.5 years, because it was the only time that we connected. And so I didn't really know my daughter who was living the way I know my son,
Right.
because I spent so much time with him. So that's why it was so important for me. Like I was so intentional about pausing the growth of whatever else was going on and just being so present for my son's year that he was with me before I went to daycare. And so what changed was the universe kicked my ass and made me be present. And then I had to choose to not complain about it and to just show up and enjoy it. Like, do you ever have those moments where you're like, I can't believe I have to do this right now with your kid? Like, I can't believe
last night as she's on the floor in the kitchen, I'm like, here we go.
Here we go.
Around. She's this close to being dysregulated. Well, she is dysregulated, right? Like she's overly tired. Yeah. Yeah.
And you're about to lose your shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you like have to go like, well, one, your option is lose your shit. And sometimes like the other day I was like, Aubrey, like sometimes she likes to like stand next to me like this, like her shoulder up, and she's like pushing over and she's like in my space and wants to eat what I'm eating on my plate and in my food. And I'm like, some days I'm fine with it. But I'm like, Aubrey, mommy is overstimulated right now. Like I literally can't handle one more thing. Like, I'm sorry. I love you. But like, please don't touch me. Like, but then there's some days where I just like choose to enjoy her eating my pizza crust and spitting half of it on the plate because she doesn't want the juicy part that still has the sauce. She just wants the crunchy stuff. So what do you do? Like, what's your kind of like aha moment in that lets you, again, you're allowed to have your moments of dysregulation yourself, but what lets you show up?
Well, I mean, I think it's just because I have shown up in a way that it's like I know what's going to happen when I show up in a way that's not helpful to her or to me, right? Because that's really clear, because that pattern's been set. It's like, okay, so let me do the work to show up differently. Let me do
that pattern's very clear for you. It wasn't always clear for you. You had to first do the work to recognize that pattern.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Because it was just otherwise it was, fighting or whatever you call it, hitting heads, right? Like butting heads, over and over and over and over again. Right. Yeah. So In the case of last night, it was like, options, giving her options, and then she didn't like any of those options, no surprise. Okay, well, what would you like to do? Or can just a constant give and take. But there was a moment where like I just trying to get the soup on, could it be a little easier?
Why is this my life right now?
What's that?
Why is this my life right now?
Yeah.
Like I just
And then of course her dad comes home and it's a totally different reaction. Hi. And I'm like, oh my God, I did not get that. Dealing with
it's interesting because I'm like, thank God you're home. He's yours. There, I need, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I realized last night I was taking it definitely personal because I get the, you said you were going to pick me up, just kind of the, you said you were going to pick me up from school and then it was just trouble transitioning, really tired, not liking any of the options, just kind of rolling around on the floor, frustrated. So that was hard. That for me, I take that personal because then it's like, her dad comes home and he gets the, oh my gosh, I've had challenging, my internal dialogue's like, well, why isn't she like that with me?
ask you, like, have you started to think about why those thoughts come up for you?
Not why. I don't think why. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I thought why.
Are you trying to do the work? Is that like on, because I feel like we have to choose like where we're trying to do the work because we can't do the work in all the places. So, like, are you trying to do the work where those thoughts of like resentment or why weren't you like this with me or why are you treating me this way, that those thoughts either enter and leave quicker or don't enter at all, or you can have a whole nother replacement thought? Like, is that work that you're doing, or are you just like, this is where I'm at right now and I want to, that I'm okay with it?
I think just because there's been so much other work that I've been working on, you're privy to. I will say it is coming in quick, like coming in and going out quicker, right? So like that's, if anything, like, okay, notice that. And then I thought it was a big win that, okay, then before dinner, she and I could build forts and do tickle fight and kind of just do that. So that was a connection. That was more of the connection that I was seeking from her. So and then I could let it go and be like, okay, all right. So it's not, I think I'm recognizing it definitely quicker. I don't know if I'm having replacement thoughts. It's leaving quicker. And I would say that I'm not taking it so personal. I really just take so much. I think that's been my big aha, is just be like, it's not personal.
No, it's not. Like, I keep reminding myself, like, they don't even have the mental capacity, like, to make it personal right now, and we're putting that story onto it.
Yes.
Like, that's the story we're putting onto it. And like, I will just like when Mike, when Mike will say to me, he's like, they're in a daddy phase right now. I'm like, thank God. Like, good. Like, I know you might be trying to make me jealous, but like, I'm not jealous.
No.
Like, good. I like good. Like, please come home sooner.
Just
Like,
daddy phase.
I am ready for tiny time. I'm still like, I'm trying to get him to like, hey, why don't you take the kids for like bagels on Saturday morning? Like, I come from a divorced family. So like my dad used to take us for bagels every Saturday morning. But I'm like, and Mike's all about togetherness. And he's like, but family time. And I'm like, but daddy time.
I know. Family time can be the rest of all the hours of that day, They don't need to.
Yeah. But that's been one of the like the lovely things about like we use that word togetherness in our family. And I did not grow up with that word togetherness. And now like it's so beautiful to watch. Like, and Aubrey, my daughter, has been just this like glue and magnet. And so we talk about like intuition and trust and like working through all those family dynamics and relationships that were broken. And like, I knew my intuition told me that I wanted to be part of a large family ever since I mean, little, I would go to friends' houses and I would like be in awe of their family structure. The story I told myself about their family structure, that wasn't my family structure, right? Who knows what was going on, but it's like this big family. And then when I married Michael, he had this big family that like loved each other unconditionally and like just let things go. And here we were all like holding on to all of it. But it's just been beautiful to watch the kids come in and like bring people together. And like, I know they don't deserve all the credit, but Aubrey, Aubrey deserves a lot of it.
Yeah.
And so that's helped me grow my intuition again and trust, because I've just rebuilt my whole family unit
Yeah.
with my family unit.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, that's been beautiful to watch from the outside, just that you've done that consciously too. I mean, that's your work that you've done. And I love that I've just seen everybody really coalesce around Aubrey, because that's been beautiful. It could have been different, And so now not only do you have your kind of immediate family that you are growing with your partner Michael, right? Your husband Michael, but also then you've got this extended family that's just been beautiful. Your extended family, and then your in-laws, right? And then whoever else you kind of bring into that family fold. So
it helps to do the work to rebuild the relationships, like the ones that you want, the ones that are worth it, right? The ones that you consciously choose to do it. And hopefully everyone on the other end consciously chooses back, because that's like a whole nother
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And so like that's been a lot of the last 10 years of my life too, is rebuilding, whether it's with my parents, with my siblings, with, my friends, or people that I didn't have the relationship I wanted and we've changed it together, which I'm really excited because we got some of those people yeah, I asked my mom yesterday, actually. I was like, so you want to
Oh gosh.
do like a whole, got all, like an unscripted therapy session, with no facilitator. Yeah. So yeah, it's just, I love that we have this space, Christina. I just love it.
I know. I know. I think about how what you said earlier around trust, and why can't I should have more trust now, because I've done all of these things where that would have given me trust. And I guess what I hear you just say is that, you've spent the last decade focusing on rebuilding those family relationships. And so there's lots of trust in that because you have recent history, right? Now, this next decade, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't know, or what you want to kind of have it unfold to. But it to me makes perfect sense why trust would be lower, because you're really in a whole new decade in that way. And it just kind of corresponds with your age too, which is interesting in terms of
Yeah.
Yeah.
40 and thriving. That's what I keep saying.
I love it. I love it.
40 and thriving.
Love
You
it.
know, you saw my face when you said that, because I was like,
Some light bulbs?
that's some good like connection right there. Yeah. Because my trust bucket is so, I mean, when it comes to relationships and the people that are around me, and like when I left my job and I quit, and I was like, I'm
Hearing
done
some new
having,
stories to
huh?
tell. I said, I hear some new stories to tell yourself around that. I mean, yes, you physically quit, but like in terms of being a quitter.
Oh yeah. I actually like saying that there's something about being a quitter that's fun to me. So I like it. But yeah, no, it was like, for me, it's like a moment where I was brave and I put my foot down and I was like, I'm not going to go through this anymore. And I think I remember saying to one of my friends, I said, and maybe it was you, I said, I'm done having people in my life that don't serve me. Like, and I don't need to anymore. And so every relationship that is going to be in my life is going to be because they deserve to be here. Right. And so and I also felt for the first time, I used to go to friends' houses. I used to go to jobs to find a place where I belonged. I wanted this community, this family, this place where I belong, stuff I didn't have at home. And I remember the first time in my life, I was like, I actually don't feel like I need to go anywhere else to belong. Like, I felt like I had my people.
Or
Even if I went back into the workforce,
Mhm.
I wanted to have a different relationship with the people at work than I've had in the past, because I've always tried to have that family closeness. And that's a whole nother, does it work at work? Does it not work at work? We can totally go into that. But always was searching for that. And now I felt like I can approach the world differently, knowing that I had a center where I felt like I belonged.
Mm. So then to me, it makes it the natural next step was like, if you feel like you belong, then what you have to say is worthwhile.
Yeah, that was still scary in the beginning, though.
That was, you know,
Yeah. I think I'm also like, you had said this, I think, in the first episode, which was like, you surround yourself with people that are like, like,
funny,
what
spontaneous,
was the P? What was the P in the Myers Briggs?
perceiving. Yeah. More spontaneous.
More spontaneous. And I feel like people say, like, I don't remember details, even though I'm a detail. If you look up my strengths, I'm like, analytical is like my strength, but like remembering the details, like I remember the moments, I remember the feelings. Like, you ask me what happened, unless I listen to this podcast back, I'm literally not going to know what we talked about. Thank God for AI transcripts. Okay. So I do a lot of things intuition because it
Yeah.
feels good. And then you get the people are like, well, what are you doing? How are you doing it? What will it look like? And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I shouldn't be thinking this. Like, and that's where the judgment creeps into play. And so going back to like logic and building our business, I've had to spend a lot of time trying to get clear, to have the words and the language and the logic of the business so that I can at least answer those questions. And I don't know where this stemmed from, but now I feel like I'm on a rant. But yeah, I just there's a lot less judgment that's happening in my life because I've built better relationships and more solid relationships and more grounded relationships with the people that are in my life. But the judgment still happens. But I also, when that judgment happens, I have less anger when it comes in.
Okay.
Like, and I have less like, woe is me and like that victim energy. And I'm quicker to get to, well, that's your thought process. Like, cool. Like, just because it's your thought doesn't make it true. Like, I decide what's true. And
I'm still not, I would say still not probably where you are, because when I brought up the podcast to people, and been unclear around kind of what's it about or this or that. And I have, because it's something that I don't have a lot of expertise in, right? I have zero expertise in it. So feeling nervous and shy and withdrawn about it and kind of looking to other people's reaction for validation that what we're doing is meaningful, or it could be meaningful to other people, right? The whole point that we wanted to start this and have conversations, real conversations, was around that we have some experiences that we feel like, one, it's helped just having a soundboard with each other, but it could help other people. Just even understanding that, whether it's the perspective of a business owner, female business owner, to parenting, um, neurodivergent children, and just even managing and balancing families, and when all these other things that you want to talk about on your podcast. But the point being is just that I think that um, when we talk, I don't have the trust because I don't have the experience. I don't, right? So it's that intuition, like, okay, well, I know that we have a connection, and that I trust that there's energy around that in this endeavor, and kind of what will unfold will unfold. I know that for me, I want to show up bigger in my own life. I want to have a bigger and broader impact. And this is a way in which I can do that. So I'm, I am that intuition's there because I don't have any proof of that. But this is to me where we start to lay the foundation of trust, you know?
Yeah. It's so cool when you get like I love leading in the sense of like, girl, let's just come. Like, let's just do it.
Let's just
Like,
do
you don't
it.
need language right now. Go figure it
LFG.
out. I got language. You worry about your jam. I'll take care of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, and you need that sometimes where it's like you need that person that's like, okay, just hop in. Like, enjoy the ride. And so I love though that you had said like you'll gain the trust as the days and the weeks and the months and all of that stuff go on. But I go back, I keep thinking about this research phase. And it's like when your intuition isn't where it needs to be, when your trust isn't where it needs to be, I always go back to like, go research. Like in your intuition, your research could be, what are things that help me tap into my intuition, right? Doing stuff like that. Like be a consumer, I guess I would say. Like go out, be a consumer, learn, educate, experience the world, like practice, see, like be aware, right? That's all like you're gathering like data from the outside world, but you're also gathering data from your inside world and like your energetic field and like just like be curious. Like there's and play, like be curious, go out there and just say like I'm in this space. I'm in my research phase. So I call it like I'm in my research phase. Like I'm just collecting data.
Well, it's a way
And
to suspend self-judgment, really, too, just to,
yeah.
and to do and self-validate that. I was thinking, too, that you and I are both extroverted. So I feel like we're doing this kind of back to the analogy with the airplane. We're researching and building this airplane as we go, right? But that's happening in front of how much to just be like, no, I'm super excited about it because that's who I am. And I want to share what I'm excited and passionate, what I'm working on. And even if it's not completely digestible or like, foolproof, and being able to block out some of that noise. We were talking about noise earlier. Like, how do you take in what you take in and block out the rest, right? Like, you don't
That's work.
vacuum, but it's simple. What's that?
I said that is work.
Yeah.
To just even be able to choose what to take in and to
Yeah.
choose what to block out
Yeah.
and like not let an emotion get attached to it. Like
Yeah.
let your logic be like it is what it is. Like there's no
Yeah.
emotion to that piece of it. Yeah.
Especially when, like, in my situation where there's so much past trauma and attached to that. So for people in my life that their opinion really mattered and seeking their validation. And now I just think it's so courageous of you and I to even be on this endeavor, right? Like, hard work, but it's courageous to start something and then try to continue to build it and sustain it and have it be something. I think what I don't want it to get lost that the pride that you can look at and say, I did this. There's a like for me, there's a physical product out there. That was for me or for you to hear that feedback from your customers or to go, oh my gosh, you actually have a physical podcast now that you can point to. So I feel like I'm kind of on a tangent now too, but I think there is, because there's always going to be naysayers. I feel like, with any business, there's an inherent risk, and I think you've got to be um somewhat tolerant of that ambiguity and that risk.
I think too, like I so appreciate you sharing about like your past trauma comes from other people's judgment on you and feeling like you're not good enough. And like I literally wanted to share a story and I'm like, oh, I don't even know if I can share this on a podcast. Like, what if my dad listens to this?
Oh, I know. I thought the same thing.
Like,
No.
and so I think about like that question of how much to share. I know that the people in my life are cheering me on and supporting me on and want the best for me. And logically, like anything they give me, any feedback they give me, any thoughts they give me, it's all coming from a place of like love and wanting the best for me. Logically, I know that.
Yeah.
Emotionally, I'm like, don't tell me I'm not good enough again. And so, like, when I wrote my about me on,
I remember that.
right, I wrote my about me, I was sharing it with my family. My dad had that, that to me was a very, I don't even know what to call it. Like, it hit a chord in my dad that
Mm.
made him go, is this the story that you tell yourself about our relationship? And not in a bad way. He's like, did this happen? Is this how I treated you? Or was I a bad father? Like, I remember him asking me that. And that's how he read it. That's how he read my about me. And I was like, Dad, you weren't a bad father, you know, but and I also had to say, he's like, I really think you should change this piece of it. And I was like, I'm not going to. Like, he's like, and I was like, this is our work to do. But it was just so, this building this business has actually healed a lot because I've had to learn how to be true, um, and speak my truth and not cover it up, not put my mask on. Bryanna, you're not doing something right, or you're asking too many questions people have told me in my life, or you're speaking too much, or, that's oversharing. Like, I can't believe you overshared that. And I'm like, no, I have to lean into, like, that's beautiful, but you did say how much to share. And that's something I'm practicing on right now. And it's scary. Like, it's scary. Like, I just put the teaser out and it's out there. Like, people can find it. I sent it to you, Eva, my husband, and that's it. Like, I was like, everyone else can go find it. But yeah, it's that judgment, but it all, especially with the people that I don't know how I'm going to take judgment from people I don't know. I don't really know how that's going to go yet. I've never had that before. It's always been people that were close to me,
Right.
whether a
Yeah.
parent figure, a boss figure, like somebody that had
Yeah.
some type of influence over my life.
I
And
get
so,
that, like,
but
at every farmer's market. Yeah.
what?
I get that at every farmer's market. That's like a just-in-time feedback, right? Someone's tasting our jam or barbecue glaze, and they're either liking it or like, oh, to this, to that. I mean, that's like real-time
How do you
feedback.
deal with it? Like,
Yeah.
how do you?
Now I'm curious about it. Now I feel like I know the product is good and it's not for everybody, right? So I know that, like, I love the blueberry jam, you love it. Like, you either like it or you don't, right? Like, so I don't, however, I'm also trying to look at it like feedback. So if I'm getting that a lot, then is there something I need to look into? So case in point, we are at a market and our sign in front of our table doesn't say, it just says our business name, right? Doesn't say anything else. Like, does say like our website and stuff like that. So we had a number of people at this one particular market that were only there for a couple of sessions. So it's not like we had an ongoing presence. We were there for like 2 markets, and multiple people kept coming up to me. I don't know if I told you this, and said, "Oh, I thought you sold hummingbird food."
Can we make a plug right here? Are you good?
Oh,
Like, can
okay.
I plug?
Yeah. I didn't know
Okay.
if I should say it.
No, I'm like, Christina owns Hummingbird Artisan Foods. Like, website, www.hummingbird Artisan Foods. Like, while you're listening, just go onto the website, just check it out, order some jam. Cherry ambrosia is my favorite with some brie cheese and some pear that's ripe. And because if you do it with a non-ripe pear, it's not as good. And okay, so you're out of market. Keep going.
Yeah. So we had our sign, Hummingbird Artisan Foods, and several people at this market came up and said, "Oh, I thought you sold hummingbird food." And I was not curious initially. I was irritated. I was like, why would you think that? That's what I was thinking. Why would you think that? Can't you see there's jam on the table? Can't you see all sorts of judgment flying around, right? And then I remembered that, just kind of, I think, business 101 or business acumen, that I think you and I do have that just from working in a corporate setting. Wait, that's customer feedback. Even if I don't like it, they're giving me feedback. So I could have chosen to do nothing about it or do something about it. So I chose to do something about it. And so we were going into the indoor winter markets, and I chose to add a little thing, a tagline, if you will, onto our indoor market sign that says jams, sauces, and more. And then have never gotten the question since.
And you're like, and not hummingbird food.
Yeah, so,
Dude, yeah.
and
I mean, isn't that
a savvy business person might be like, well, you should have named it Hummingbird Jams, whatever, but that's a different episode. I didn't want to just have it be jams. We've talked about this.
no. And this is what called to you. And like, this is what feels right.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I think it's just like, that's in live. Like, that's just a story of you get to decide what you do. Right. You get, even in the moments where you were fucking like, what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
How could you think that? Right. Like, that's still, you're still deciding to show up that way. And then you're deciding how long you're staying in it. Right. Not doing nothing is not doing nothing. You're still making that decision. So like, and then for you to be like, okay, I'm in it. I get it. What was me like? And now you're deciding to get yourself out of it. Like, okay, I'm deciding to get curious. I'm deciding, to explore that a little bit. What would it look like? Oh, I just need to add a tag on it. Like, great, done. Right? A couple money, never have to deal with that again.
Yeah.
And so like, it's just like, that's like real life about like, just that's how you get yourself out of it. Right? You still have to feel it and just know you're there. You choose, you decide, you move forward, you choose, you decide, like you own it. Like you own every part of that.
Yeah, and I guess I own not signing up for that market again. Which is
Next year, maybe.
even with the new sign, I'm like, I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah. Oh, girl, I love when we get to talk and connect and just dive into these crazy topics. And I can't wait for us to like get together again and like record another episode. It's gonna be great. I love you.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, that's a wrap on our second episode. Thanks for being here. It truly means so much to me. This episode felt like one of those conversations we all need. The ones that help you breathe deeper, feel seen, and realize the messy middle can actually be tender and transformative. And hey, good news, we're not done yet. Stick around for a few more minutes of bonus content where Christina and I share some unscripted love, real-time gratitude, and what this podcast is opening up for both of us. If this episode moved you, challenged you, or made you breathe a little deeper, we'd love to stay connected. Just scroll down to the episode description to see what we're up to in the world. Whether you're craving coaching with me at Bright Peak to help you come home to yourself, or you want to explore some small batch yumminess from Hummingbird Artisan Foods, click the links and take a look. And remember, this work is conscious practice, a brave everyday choice to trust yourself, to hear your intuition, to show up with love, power, and presence again and again. You got this. Keep practicing. Bye for now, friends.
Anything you want to add, Christine, in this bonus episode? We can do whatever we want. We're editing this thing.
I love it. It feels like half a minute. It feels like our conversations, and I can't wait to the next one or for the next one. So thank you for putting this platform out there. I can't wait to see what comes up next time.
Dude, thank you for dreaming next to me. Like,
Oh my God,
I'm an entrepreneur, but like, I can't do this shit by myself. Like, I love teamwork. I love collaboration. Like, I am just so grateful that, especially in my business, like you have been this solid partner in my business. And I feel like we have friends. Friends are here for different reasons, for different places. Sometimes it's not our season because someone else is crazy and busy and has a lot going on. And so, but like, I mean, you moved to Minnesota. You were in New York.
Well,
But you know what? I feel like Eva and I are long distance, and I feel like I spend more time with her than some people that are close.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so I love that we get to have this, and I'm so grateful. I would not be where I am today in my business, in my life, like without our friendship.
Same. I think that goes back to you show up. You have been the
Try.
driving force to get stuff on. Get it calendared. Get it calendared. You don't. We might put it on pause for a little bit, but then we circle back and get it calendared. And that, honest to God, that's intention to me. So,
Well, it's also too like I'm gonna say what it is. It's selfish. Like, like
how
at
so?
heart, I'm a selfish
Yeah.
person. Like it serves me. Like our friendship serves me, and like I know it serves you. So I want to show up for you the way that you show up for me and serve me. And I think like you and I've talked about this. Like there are times I believe relationships have seasons, and it could be 20 years, 30 years, 2 years, 4 years, 2 months, a conversation. Like, and so I think that we're in our season. What I, like it's just this has been just this beautiful friendship, and like I'm just grateful. I can't. I wouldn't be here without you in where I'm at right now on this podcast. Like
Yes.
I would,
Yeah. Literally.
girl. Can we eat jam next time?
Oh my God. Yes. Cheese.
Do people eat on podcasts? Is that a thing?
Well, we'll start it. I mean, maybe other people might not like the snack.
Munching and shit. All right. So I'm going to edit somehow. I don't know. I'm hoping to create 2 episodes, some bonus content, some bloopers, some I don't know what I'm gonna do, but like I'm just gonna play around with it and use ChatGPT so it can tell me what to do.